Good morning, everyone. My name is Joe Bandel, and I am the last Rosicrucian. I've shared before that I am trying to make a special effort to put something out every week uh, that's helpful, especially for my patrons at patreon.com. Um, so if you value information like this and want to support me in doing this, I'm going to continue trying to do it as long as I can, as long as I have a few patrons that are supporting me in this. So it's for you guys. Now, we just had the presidential election, and I've been kind of looking on the YouTube, I've been kind of looking through channeling and some of the all these different kind of things where people are struggling. They're struggling with what to believe, what, like, hey, I've been lied to, and what's BS and what is not BS. And you know, I I was looking at a couple of my favorite places that I value for the insights that come from them, but I don't agree with them completely. And it just dawned on me that, you know what? These people, well, and also I was looking at some videos where some people were really hurt about the election and how they really believed certain things were true and they didn't turn out. And the irony is, sure, I could say, okay, this is the way things are, but I don't, there's no reason to believe me any more than there's a reason to believe anybody else. And so I'm not going to fall into that trap of trying to be the helpful channeler or the help, well, I got a lot of strong sunlight coming in. Oh well, we're going to deal with it. This is not going to be that long of a video, and I want to get back to some writing projects. But anyway, the topic here is essentially how do we weed through the BS? And the answer is pretty interesting because I've in previous in previous videos I have explained how narrative is being used as suggestibility because the human brain is very suggestible. The subconscious is very suggestible. Everything is, uh, the subconscious will do things for us whether we are aware of them or not. And to program the subconscious is really one of the most secret occult arts to program the subconscious. When they talk about casting spells and things like that, that's also kind of what it's doing. It's getting past the conscious sensor they talk and putting that message straight into the subconscious where it will work to manifest things. The thing is, and this is what I'm going to share is really, really, I think it's really neat because our world is filled with information. It's an information overload in which everybody is trying to grab your attention and say, believe me, believe me, believe this, believe this. This is what narrative has done. And if you look at the main street media, if you look at this past election, if you look at things like the Russia hoax, where the media was perpetuating that upon the people, and it was later disproven. Or you even think about watching TV and the ads that are coming on about medications and this and that, all kinds of things. The point that I'm getting at is we are bombarded by suggestions. And it's over the top. It's if there was just a few of them, it would be able to move us, to channel us, to control us. We can be controlled if there's just a few suggestions, if there's just a few narratives to guide us. And what's happening is there's too many. There's way too many. And so we're gaining an immunity. Our subconscious wants our own well-being. It wants to work for us and keep us healthy. And it is connected to our higher self if we allow it to do that. But all of these other things keep intruding, or they're trying to intrude and interfere with that process. Well, what's happening is it's not working anymore. Why did Donald Trump have a massive win this election by a massive landslide? Whether you voted for him or not doesn't matter. To the point that I'm saying is, why was there a landslide? There was a landslide because the programming didn't work anymore. People are no longer buying the crap. And there's crap on both sides. Let me tell you, there's crap on both sides. But what's happening, I'll go back. I'm going to rephrase this again. There was a time when people couldn't lie to each other. There was a time where people were empathic, telepathic, where they could tell if you're lying or not lying. They could tell if you're telling the truth. They had built-in BS detectors. And then things got complicated and obfuscated. And there reached a point where people didn't know they couldn't tell what to believe anymore. Now, I'm going to just be blunt, and I'm going to say, how can you live with someone, like a spouse or a child or something like that? How can you live with someone and not know what's going on inside their head, or not knowing what's going on inside their heart? Because at a level, we are open to everybody, especially those people that are closest to us, if we allow ourselves to be open. And anytime somebody says, well, my spouse was cheating on me or something like that, and I had no clue, that's BS. Because if you really truly had no clue about what's going on, and 90% of all the communication, 95% of all the communication that goes on between people is nonverbal, you are deliberately putting on the blinders. And that's just what has been going on in our society is we've been putting on the blinders. We have been blind to the reality. And I'm going to try to say it another way. There's the heart and there's the head. And people that are in their head have lost contact with their heart. And the atrocities, the violence, the hatred comes from being in the head because the heart won't allow that. The heart knows that what it's like to be human, and it recognizes the humanity in everybody else. It's the head that is pride. It will not, it'll say, you're wrong, I'm right. That's the head. The heart automatically finds that common space. And to sum this all up, all I'm trying to say is all of these suggestions that we're being exposed with, that we're being exposed to, buy this, believe this, this is what's true. All those have become so great. There's been so much, so our days are filled with so many urgent requests for like advertisements that our subconscious has evolved out of necessity. It is bringing back our telepathic and our empathic ability to sense what's good for us and to sense what's bad for us. That's the whole point of everything that I'm trying to say is the consequence, the natural consequence, and the end point, the end goal of all this narrative, all this brainwashing, all this manipulation from every side. What has it achieved? It has achieved a change in the human heart. It has achieved a change in the human subconscious to where we are once more becoming empathic, and we are once more becoming telepathic, and we are once more able to discern what's good for us individually and what's bad for us. And that's why Trump got elected. Trump got elected because a majority of the people felt in their hearts that what the other side was saying was lies. And the other side, they're hurting. And why are they hurting? Because they had in their minds, they're good people, damn good people. And this is what's so, but they, how can I say this? I'm just going to say this. You got a lot of these college educated people and they think they're smarter than everybody. And they really have hopes and dreams for a good humanity. But then you got the blue collar workers, you got the people who struggle every day, who are working factory jobs, line workers. I've done that. And they're struggling. They're struggling to make ends meet. And they're a little closer to the earth than the people who have these wonderful ideas. But you have, they're both groups are good people. I, I, if they're in there working in their hearts, they're good people. But the person who's following their heart, the person who is empathic, the person who is sensitive and maybe telepathic, they look at the other person, they can tell right away that something's wrong. They can look at another person and they can have compassion. This is emotions. And our capacity to be empathic, our capacity to see through the lies that exist on both sides is pulling us through. And if you want to know how to live in peace and harmony and love with your neighbor, all you got to do is be human, because that's what they are too. They're human. And we are learning, we're regaining that ability to be empathic, to feel other people, to feel compassion. And what's driving that ability, what's forcing that ability back into us, is because of all the crap that's surrounding us trying to brainwash us. We're doing a quantum leap beyond the brainwashing, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I've there's it's this video is a very simple video, but it's hard to really kind of express where I'm getting at. But that's basically what it is we're doing a quantum leap into becoming empathic because of all the crap, of all the narrative, all the bullshit that we're being surrounded by. And there's no way to tell what's right and there's no way to tell what's true and what's false. The only thing that can tell what is true and what is false is our heart inside of us. And we are being forced by everything out there, we are being forced to look inside our heart for what's right. Because it is the heart, our individual heart is the only thing that can tell if this is right for us or not. And what's right for you might not be right for me, vice versa. But we are being forced into our hearts because nothing else makes any sense. That, I think, is a good place to leave it. I'm sorry I kind of stumbled with the words. I knew what I wanted to say, but the words just didn't seem to come out right. But I think I've come up with it. We're being forced into our heart because everything else is crazy. Nothing else makes sense. And it's in our heart that we can find our higher self and our own inner truth. Thank you, guys. Till next week. Bye.